Hi, I'm Dave Aron. I'm here with Waves, hanging out at a House of Blues in Boston tonight. We got a Snoop Dogg show coming up, and I'm gonna hopefully demonstrate how Waves can be used in a positive manner in a live arena and not just in the recording studio. I got started in audio engineering when I was in high school. I got interested in putting a complete picture together. I played a lot of instruments and I was in the bands and things like that, but I really enjoyed putting the whole thing together. When I was right out of college, I really saw that I enjoyed the studio life a lot. However, you know, starting off and being young, I needed to supplement a lot of my income, and I found that it was easy to get more work with bands doing live sound and running, you know, their sound at their gigs. So that's what I did. You know, at night I was moonlighting and running live sound for a lot of different bands, and I didn't realize then how much it was really going to help me in the studio world as well, and that I was going to be touring all over the world, you know, doing concerts in big arenas either. Studio work is a lot different than live work. Most studio engineers aren't really versed in live sound and vice versa, you know, but I find that a lot of live sound, you have to deal with a lot of subtractive EQ, a lot of controlling open mics, a lot of controlling frequencies, controlling the room itself. Whereas, you know, in the studio, you know, I approach it more as, you know, I'm just trying to make a long-lasting, permanent record of what we actually did here, so I can have a lot more flexibility to turn things up the way I want without fear of like some sort of repercussions from feedback or some other things. I was introduced to Waves plugins a few years ago with Pro Tools and this and that, and I started really liking the whole idea of having unlimited pieces of gear in one piece of software, you know? So you won't have to go buy a whole rack of 10 1176s. You can just buy the software and load them up on every channel. You could have 20, 30 of them if you want. There was never really a way to work with Waves before they put out the multi-rack. They would load up some of the D-show venue boards and a few of the boards with it. You could find some stuff, but I don't get the same board every night. You know, we don't carry our own production, and that's where I find Waves really helps me live with the multi-rack. No matter what console I have in front of me, I always have all my Wave plugins right here with presets and everything the way they always set up, so it makes it a lot easier. I don't have to really worry if I'm going to have the proper EQ to make everything sound pristine like I want. I just can rely on my laptop right here. Whether I'm using an analog board or a digital board, you know, the Waves really does do what it's supposed to do, and I can rely on that. You know, of course, the digital is going to give a little cleaner signal. The analog is going to give a little more grit to the sound. You know, you're going to have to work with it depending on which type of board you're using, but knowing that in your head, you know, you're going to know which direction to take the Waves plugins, and yeah, it's a real winner. Yeah, I can fit multi-rack into my workflow very easily now because I just have to have my laptop, and it seems like I have any kind of piece of gear that I need, so I don't have to worry about bringing a whole rack with me. I don't have to set up time, the cost of shipping it and buying it and everything, renting it if that's the case, whatever it is. You know, I really find that it makes everything a lot simpler, cheaper, and I mean, how can you go wrong with that? So yeah, when I start with Snoop's vocal, what I do is I start off with a compressor and I just get the level of it just right. So I got my dry signal here, and what I did was I put it on pre, so that whatever I'm sending here is not going to really affect it here. So I'll pull this up, and this is what I'm doing with the multi-rack. So right away, you can hear I'm doing this, and that's just with the 1176 on it. Of course, where else can you get a piece of gear where you can change from this 1176 to this 1176 in just a click? No pre-patching, anything. You know, I mean, it's pretty amazing for a guy like me who's been working with all that old gear for a long time. I put the level, I'll start with this black one, and I'll put the level where I want it. You know, they give you some recommendations. But so now I'll pump it up a little higher. I like a faster release and a very fast attack. You know, I'm good at about 4. I like to watch the gain, reduction, and this is, again, with it, without it. This is just a straight signal. And then you can see it's like makes it incredibly more gain and a lot more in your face. Now I'm gonna add the SSL to it. And what I do is just add a little bit of high mid here, a little bit of top. I took out some of the 800 garbage here and some of this 150 or so. And just with those two now you can hear this is without it and this is with it. You can hear it just brings everything all up in your face. It's got a more pristine sound. It's got that crispness and brightness to it, yet it doesn't hurt your ears, and it's just better for a live gig. It's amazing. I'm gonna put the C4 on it now, and that's what I'll finish it off with. And this, you can hear, you see where it's got that little, it dips right here, where I have that problem, right here in the high mid, and I can even make it do it a little more, so that I can keep that presence right there, but if it gets to be too much, it catches it all. And that's what I like about this. Now in this particular room, you don't really have a lot of problems like that, but in some rooms you get a lot of low mid, you kind of want it there, but you don't want it to be overbearing in a lot of the times that you're using it. So when Snoop's gonna be up on the mic, again, you're gonna see is holding the low mid in check so that it's just not going to be too much. And that's what gives it that beauty. So I can even get more gain out of it because I'm able to turn it up more and it's controlling those frequencies and not letting them go all out of control. Like these people over here, out of control. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing to Snoop's vocal tonight. I'm going to have it dry and then I'm going to replace it with this. And I think that's going to work real well. I can adjust it in the show when I go, hearing how it sounds with the people in the room and everything.